Hit record. All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Wealth Wednesday, April 21st, and this is the Renatus Team Elevate morning call. I'm Nina Kilbride-Sheehan, and I am filling in for Keely Austin today. So I am honored to do that. I want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome Esther. Esther, thank you so much for everything you do to me. Welcome Ada, Berta, Autumn, Bobby, Norberto, Charles, Miri, Christian, Esterine, David. Good morning, Doug, Earl, Evelyn, Flavia, Gilda. Good morning. Good morning, Jeff, Kim, Leslie. Good morning, Laura and Laureen, Maurice, Maximiliano. It keeps scrolling on me. Mir, good morning. Rebecca, Regina, Rob, Robert. Yeah. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Shayna. And good morning, Sylvia and Steve. And if I missed anyone, good morning to you also. I will get our quote of the day up. Let's see. Hold on. Let me step back and screen share. All right. Our quote of the day today is in line with what Bob was saying about dream maintenance. He told us some things that we need to do, and the best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. That's a powerful one. Our Leaders Retreat is August 20th through 24th in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. In order to attend, you just have to be 1, 3, or 5-star qualified. So once you are 1, 3, or 5-star qualified, you will be able to access registration in your back office in Helios. It is a wonderful way for all the leaders to get together, and I am looking forward to my first one this year. So I hope to see you there. Our Founders Live webinars are every Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time in the Renatus Founders Facebook page. There are 3 kinds of people in this world: people who make it happen, people who watch what happens, and people who wonder what happened. Don't wonder what happened. Attend this or watch the replay in the group and know what's going on. Bob Snyder gives announcements, there is training, there's a story, and it's very inspiring and informational. So don't miss that. You can catch it on replay if you can't catch it live. Our national study groups are Monday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Time with Christian George, and we are going through the essentials. You can register for that in Helios. Our Renatus Helios app is available for download, and it contains our Money Mastery videos. I have been having a little trouble still accessing my Money Mastery videos, so I know that corporate is working on it, but definitely download the app. There are so many other wonderful things that it can do. Watch education. It will let you know when people are registered for events, and go back to your app store and give it 5 stars and check that out. We have a tremendous amount of daily and weekly support. Each week we have a weekly private capital masterclass on Thursdays with Dane Clark, and currently it is at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And we also have our daily real estate action mastermind calls, the dream calls, which are right after this call, Monday through Friday, 9 to 9:45, and both of those are for students only. You are on the daily team call right now. This is a marketing focused call, and this call is Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. If you go to www.oesoes.com, you can find out more about our optional event system or our OES system. With the OES, you have access to the dream call, you have access to the private capital mastermind that Dane does, and you also get to attend the intensive. So you get your money back that you put into your OES by being able to attend the real estate intensive. So go to oesoes.com and check that out. Our Profits Intro with Scott Rowe is Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So you'll want to catch that and put some guests into that. Every Wednesday, we have a weekly virtual house tour. And I am not able to attend the house tours on Wednesday nights because I have a conflict and because I can't catch a recording. I get notes from other people, so I hope that I've got this information right. Last week's house tour was a fix and flip in Salt Lake City. They utilized knowledge, relationships, and leverage to take no money out of their own pocket. The purchase price was $345,000. Rehab costs $35,000. Holding costs were $18,600. Closing costs $22,400. And the after retail value is approximately $465,000. So they have a potential net profit of $44,000. And all I was given was that it was a flip by Diego. And I did see in the team Facebook page that there was a 17-year-old who posted a video. And so I don't know if that was the Diego, but anyway, congrats Diego, whoever you are. And if anyone wants to pop any more information about last week's house tour in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate that. And as I said, Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we do have our house tour in English. So that is tonight. So you can register in Helios for that. Our Thursday evening events. We have our corporate onboarding at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. You can look in Helios for information on that. At 7 p.m., we have some different events. We have a repeat of our house tour in Spanish. We have our Pillars of Wealth introduction in English. We have our real estate study groups in English, our multifamily and short-term rentals. And then at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, we have our Velocity Banking class in English. You can access this recording and various other recordings through our Renatus Team Elevate private Facebook page. These are streamed every day. Unfortunately, it's not being streamed today, but I will go in right away and post the Zoom recording in there so that people can access it. So I don't know where my technical troubles were with that, but it wasn't recognizing me to be able to post it. So we also have our Elevate Renatus YouTube channel, and this will be available in the YouTube channel also. There are years and years of training in the YouTube channel. We have Zoom ups that we did earlier this year with around 100 stories of our students and how they got into Renatus and what they're doing with their education. So it's a treasure trove of knowledge, and you can send some of these links out to your prospects. Today's featured trainer is Dane Clark. And before we move on and introduce Dane, I'm going to go to our Money Mastery video. So I will go back into here. Can everyone see that there's a video that's going to start?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we'll do our Money Mastery video, then we'll do our call to action, and then we will get on with our training with Dane.
This singer used networking to make better music and become a global superstar. Would you have done the same thing?
I know, we don't see anything.
Defined as to interact with other people to exchange information and develop contacts, especially to further one's career. It isn't something you generally think can be applied to a creative endeavor, but that is exactly what Irish singer Enya has done. At some point, it is very likely that you've heard her haunting ethereal music. Would you be surprised to learn that she has more money than Adele and has sold more records than One Direction? Would it shock you to find out that she lives in a castle and her neighbor is Bono from U2? Would it surprise you more to know that Enya's meticulously produced music is a direct result of networking? Enya has had an incredibly successful career. She's a singer, songwriter, and musician, and has been a steadily selling artist for decades. Enya shuns the limelight and the trappings of celebrity. She's never dated another famous person or been seen out and about on the red carpet surrounded by paparazzi. Enya has sold more than 75 million albums globally and has never toured as a solo artist. The single 54-year-old is the richest woman in Irish and British music history, and she did it without touring. Enya was born in Gweedore County, Donegal, Ireland. She is the sixth of 9 children in her family. She was a shy girl growing up who loved singing and playing the piano. Her family was musical, and when Enya was 19 years old, she joined her family's band, the Celtic music group Clannad. She played the synthesizer and sang backup vocals. 2 years later, she quit the band over a dispute and moved into the home of friends Roma and Nicky Ryan. Enya met Nicky when he was the producer of the family's band. The three wrote and composed music together, and in 1987, Enya released her self-titled debut album. The following year, she released her now iconic album Watermark, and A Star Was Born. Watermark sold 11 million albums worldwide. Ever since then, the trio has worked and networked closely together on Enya's albums. In fact, to this day, Enya spends almost all of her waking hours with the Ryans working on her music. Her songs are elaborately put together. Originally, Enya sang in a mixture of English and Gaelic, but these days she records in Sindarin and Quenya, 2 languages J.R.R. Tolkien created, and Loxian, a language she and the Ryans invented. Enya has won 4 Grammy Awards and was nominated for an Academy Award for her work on the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. There is no one else in the music business who is as successful and as mysterious. Very little is known about her. Music is Enya's first and only love, and the Ryans are among her only companions. Enya had the luck of fate to be born into a musical family. Through them, she met Nikki and Roma Ryan, and the 3 of them built a network and a connection that has allowed them to produce successful music for the past 30 years. Call to action, networking. Connections can come from the most random of places. Take 10 minutes right now to consider the people in your life who you could network with to become more successful.
All right, could you hear the entire video even though you couldn't see the beginning of it?
Yes.
Then we will take 2 minutes to consider the people in your lives who you could network with to become more successful. All right. If you guys would like to post any of your thoughts in the comments, or if you already have, wonderful. I see, Jen, you're connecting with your real estate and banking professionals to see where it leads you. Awesome. Judy, I'm glad that that video was beneficial for you. And again, good morning, everyone. All right. I will introduce our featured speaker right now. And I will put his picture back up. All right, everyone. Our featured trainer today is Dane Clark. Before Renatus, Dane Clark was working 2 jobs. He was working at Apple, where his shyness shone through as he worked in the back of the store counting cell phones as opposed to talking to customers. and he was also a roofer on the weekends, following after his father. With his red hair and fair skin, being in the sun all day was not his cup of tea. A friend of his proposed the idea of investing in real estate, and at first it wasn't exactly what Dane had in mind. After some time, he called back that person and came to a Renatus meeting. Dane studied his courses, listened to his mentor, and began to apply what he was learning. He utilized Velocity Banking as leverage for a down payment on a duplex, where he lived on one side and rented out the other. Fast forward to today, Dane has raised over $23 million to go towards various transactions. His secret to this is consistency and frequency. Not only is Dane a very successful real estate investor because of this educational system, he is also a marketing leader. Dane is in training to be on the President's Advisory Council and has so much knowledge and experience to share with us. So take good notes. Good morning, Dane. Let's see, I think I'm gonna ask Dane to unmute.
Sorry, my Bluetooth went out probably right as you were saying, come on, Dane. And I didn't hear you, but what's up, guys? Sorry about that. Happy Wealth Wednesday, super excited to be here. I love those money masterminds. They are seriously the best. And it couldn't, I couldn't help but sit there and think that, you know, I saw some people chiming in and hey, Patricia, I saw some people chiming in saying like, oh, I want to network with more professionals. Oh, I want to network with more, you know, higher paid, you know, successful. And it was kind of making me think that, you know, when you're thinking real estate on any given deal, you can only have one professional help you in that area on any given deal. And so, and yeah, so if you do multiple deals, you can have multiple people, but it was kind of making me think like, on the one hand, I don't want to say it's scarce, but on the one hand, it's, you've got to find the best, right? You can't help everybody on one single deal. But the one thing I love about Renatus is that everybody can become a part of that, and they can go out and do their own deals. And so it's the absolute perfect way, in my opinion, to get into real estate and go have conversations and go network, because you're going to talk to somebody and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you can help me on my real estate deal. Or when you're talking to somebody, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you can bring money to my real estate deal. Or, oh my gosh, you can, you know, and if they can help you on a deal, or if they can bring money to a deal, or if they can, you know, when we've got some cool stories of people that found a deal just because they were networking. In fact, some people that are even on this call that I can see, where they're just like, oh my gosh, please buy my house. Or that conversation can steer towards like, can we do that together? Can I learn what you're learning? Can I buy houses? Can I learn how to analyze deals like you're learning? And it's just, Bob's a genius. That's all I can say is Bob is an absolute genius. But all right, let's get going with this. Let's see. Go ahead and tell me in the comments. We got 79 on the call today, so tell me. I want to see 79 comments if possible. If you guys would do me that solid, I want to know how many people did you talk to in the last 7 days? How many conversations did you have? How many people did you get to an intro? How many people did you get to an event? How many people did you get to a house tour? How many people did you do a one-on-one with? How many people did you follow up with? Okay, so tell me. I want to know. Let's see 79 comments. Let's just start flooding them in. Even if you had a goose egg, notice what happens. Notice what happens if you tell me and the other 79 people, or I don't know, let's see, 78 people, me and the other 78 people on the line, even if you had a goose egg and didn't have any conversations in the last 7 days, notice what happens when you jump in on the keyboard and type that in and tell everybody. right? You're going to notice some changes happening inside of you, if that's you, and as well as, and I'll tell you what the change is going to be. Look at some of these other ones. Syndril 18 plus. I think I saw Maximiliano had like 17 already. Just looking at some. Look at these flooding in. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. 78 times. Let's do this. And I'm going to start from the top. Keep on flooding. I'm going to start giving some recognition here. So Maximiliano had 17, and Maximiliano even has some cool stories that I was honored to be a part of, that he has been able to do or come from some of those comments or those conversations. Shayna had 3. Josh White had 3. Great job, brother. Renata's Team Elevate had 3. Gilda had 2. Autumn had 1. Russ had 2. Karen talked 7. 3 to the intro. 2 follow-ups. Maurice had 1. And I love how Karen like tracks each aspect of it. If I look at my own numbers, the only thing I look at, because these days it's like, this is like my life. I have found my calling in life. I talk real estate investing to every human that comes in contact with me, because I've noticed that it is the absolute easiest thing to talk about. If you just say the words real estate investing to the humans that you are surrounded with, I don't care if it's at a family event or if you're on the elevator at the hotel, or if you're out to eat, out to dinner, or if you're, I'm trying to think of some cool stories. If you're at the tire store, right? If you bring up the words real estate investing, that goes places. And so the only thing I track is my one-on-ones. I was just looking at it yesterday. I think in the last 7 days I had like 6. So I had about 6 one-on-ones in the last 7 days. Because that's when I can ask for the close. That's when I can ask for an order. That's when I can ask to do business together. And so that's what I personally track, because I know everything else. I'm talking real estate. It's inevitable. I drive my wife crazy. All right, Jen. I don't know. Maurice had 1. Flavia had 1 talk, 1 mentor. Jen had 2 one-on-ones. Spoke to 4 people seriously about coming to the briefing. Sandra, thank you for being honest. Had a goose egg. Luis had 3. Cinder had 18 plus. Judy had 2. 1 signed up after a few months. Awesome. And that's what I've noticed, actually, that there's about well, everybody's different, obviously, but I feel like my average has been about a 1-month turnaround lately. Just had a really awesome one that signed up on Thursday of last week. Super fun interaction all the way from the start to where he's like, Dane, let's do this. And so if we've got time, I'll tell some stories. But Laura had 4 to the intensive, 5 one-on-ones, 6 conversations. Steph had 1 lead, multiple conversation. He's in funding now. Steve had 2 convos, 1 invite to intensive, 1 invite to profits. Robert, 1 real estate investing funding convo, 3 REI convos, 1 property talk, 4 to velocity banking, 1 one-on-one, 1 follow-up. Sylvia had 5. Bobby Johnson had 13. Robert had 15 and 3 follow-ups. Olivia had a goose egg. Maria, 1 one-on-one, 1 invite. Patricia, 25 business to invite to summit. Nice job. 3 people discussing the education, 1 one-on-one. Al, only 2. Hey, no worries. Don't say only 2. Say 2. Grace sent 60 texts to people for intensive. 8 responded. 3 attended. Nice. Oh yeah. Renata's Team Elevate. This is Nina. Hey, Nina. Drakkar had 5. 3. Let's see. Nicholas had 3 convos, 1 follow-up. Lorene had 2. LaShawn, 1 guest, 2 to properties. She wants profit. She wants a profits combo. Yes, love it. 12 guests to Velocity Banking, 3 guests to property tours. 1 of them was from Canada. That's cool. Welcome from Canada. to your guest. I know they're not on this call, but welcome to the U.S. in real estate. Regina has 3. Jakar always sparks conversations. Yes. Sindro scheduled 5 to intro, 3 to briefing. Nice job. 5 and 5. Berta had 1. Kim had 7. And man, you guys are, I'm almost to the end. Let's see. Kim had 7 one-on-ones, 2 velocity banking, 2 attended property tour and intro. Sindro said, what are you using to track your leads? I think I can't remember if I talked about this last week or maybe it was on a different mastermind, but somebody was asking me. Somebody was asking me about that and they were surprised to hear my answer, but happy to share. Give me 1 sec. Karen picked up a flip. Congratulations, Karen. Urko had a 45-minute conversation last night that raised $80,000. Nice job, brother. Danielle had 1 solid one-on-one and a whole bunch of congratulations to Earl. Congratulations, dude. You are the man. Could be as high as 200,000 depending on the timeline. Yes, nice. In fact, I've noticed that a lot of the people that I'm doing business with, it starts, if I'm using their money for real estate, it starts here and then you do even one little win, one little win, and they're like, hey, can I give you more money for doing that thing that we're doing together? I think I've got 3 people now, 4 people that are over $1 million, but it didn't start that way, right? If those 4 people, one of them started at 85 grand, one of them started at 115 or 107,000. One of them started at 76,000. And then the other one started probably right around 100. And all 4 of them are now over $1 million. It gives one little win and it domino effect. And so everything I learned from our community, yes, absolutely, brother. Congratulations. Okay, let's help somebody. Let's have somebody just interrupt me. Come off of mute. I want to help you. Let's have a conversation. Let's hear some dialogue, maybe of conversations that you have been having, and let's see how we can help. Right? I'm talking moments that you were deer in the headlights when in the middle of a conversation, and you're just like, what do I say to that, or what? Right? Just interrupt me, and here, let me see if I can see. Yeah, there we go. And I'm trying to admit people as fast as I can. I think somebody else is helping me do that though, right? Esther, are you helping me with that? Yes. So who do we have? Who's going to come off of mute? Who's going to be our guinea pig today? Get some mentorship. And even if you just have a question, that's fine too. But I love the juicy ones.
Dana.
So Shayna Wood.
Yeah, hi.
And then Patricia, I saw you too. And so if we have time, I'll try and get to both of you, but go ahead, Shayna, what you got?
Our big thing lately is we've been talking to people who know more than us, particularly realtors, people previously in the real estate world, trying to introduce Renatus to them. We found ourselves deer in the headlights a couple times already.
Okay. Give me some dialogue. Let's actually let's grab some, instead of being general, I want to see if we can get to some specifics.
Sure.
And if you can recall, at least one conversation, and so give me some dialogue, because that's really going to help me. Sindril, you're right. Managing leads. You ready for this? You're going to laugh at this. I don't. If I have somebody that wants to talk to me, they get on my calendar and I bam fam until they buy or we don't schedule another appointment again. Just because I every morning I wake up and in fact, take notes on this, ladies and gentlemen. Every morning I wake up and I tell myself that people are flying into my life because I can help them make their, I can help them in their real estate investing relationship, whatever that is, passive, active, property with a problem, or technically not interested. And that's totally fine. And so I really don't track my leads. I don't have a software for that. If somebody says, Dane, I want to talk real estate investing, Then they get on my calendar, and a BAM fam, if you don't know what a BAM fam means, I always book a meeting from a meeting. And so they will stay on my calendar at least once a week for the next several weeks until it's like, all right, dude, either, and maybe I don't want to use that term, either choose this side of the fence or that. And, you know, no sitting on the fence, you know, choose one side of the fence and whatever you decide. So for example, I'm going to have that conversation today with a gentleman this afternoon, where I think we've had 1, 2, 3 meetings. This will be our 3rd meeting. And it'll be like, all right, dude, either get on my, yes, Robert, that's what I was thinking, or get off the pot. Either get on that side of the fence, this side of the fence, and let me help you do that thing, whatever you decide, right? And so for example, today I'm going to tell this gentleman, I'm going to say, notice that whatever you decide today, that the universe or the world around you will align to that. So if you tell me, Dane, I don't want to do this, the world will align with you. It's going to be very interesting. Okay. And you're going to, and a few months from now, you're going to say that was the right decision. Most likely though, things are going to, things will happen that if you don't get into real estate ever, then you're going to say, hey, Dane, are you still doing that real estate thing? And is that still on the table? I have that happen all the time. But I'm going to tell him, I'm going to tell this gentleman, I'm going to say, you know what? I am very busy. I have a lot of people flooding my way that want to do business together. And so I'm always working through that. And so don't be surprised if I don't follow up with you. Don't take it offensively, but I'm just working with so many people that want to work with me and that want to work with me. And so I just forget to follow up with people. Now I will tell you this, right? And if you guys some of you are probably like, whoa, like, Dane, you don't do that. Here's what I do say though. I say, if I am calling you, there's only one reason why that's going to happen. And it's because for whatever reason, your name kept popping up into my head over and over and over again. Usually it has to happen like 3 or 4 times until I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to pick up the phone and call this person. So just know that if I ever call you, if you tell me I'm going to go on that side of the fence and I'm not interested in this right now, if I ever call you 6 months down the road, a year down the road, whatever, it's because for some reason your name keeps popping up into my head. And I've noticed that when that happens, my name was popping up into their head as well. Happens almost every time that happens to me. And so that's kind of how I've been working, because I've just got this abundant mindset that I'm always getting people that want to work with me. And so we're working through that, but yeah. All right. Come back off of mute, my friend, Shayna. And there was a couple of follow-up questions on this, so I'm going to ask this. So you use your calendar to track leads. Yes, Seth. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, you gotta use my calendar very, very religiously. And I create invites, send it to them, and they have to accept it. Jen, would you tell someone to take the education first before meeting with you? It depends on where we're at. One thing, I always have people watch stuff before they meet with me. I always have them go through something before they meet with me, because I don't want to be the guy that tells them everything. Robert says, my issue is they seem to think pyramid scheme, since I profit and others profit for them getting their education. Robert, I'm going to have to hand this to you. That never comes up in my conversations. And so I'm going to guess that it's probably something that's rooted deep inside either your mind or your heart, right? And this is probably not what most people that are in a situation like that want to hear, but I'm going to tell you right now, that never comes up. In fact, when that part of the conversation comes up, I could tell you the story of the person that just put their money in on Thursday last week, and they're going to get their what do they call it? The not Epix combo, the cash Extreme Plus combo. He asked me, Dane, are you making money? And because of the rooted belief inside of me, he was just like, oh, cool, sounds great to me, and he didn't care. Okay, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to suggest that it's probably something that you need to work on here and here. And then as you talk to people and you naturally celebrate that there's money involved, that they also will celebrate you. Okay, and so I'm going to say that's against the grain of what most people would say, but it works for me very, very well. I'm sorry, Shayna. Thank you for waiting patiently. Seth, Dane, what lead generation activities did you do before the inflection point? I use a Google Sheet. And so I did use a Google Sheet where I would track people. If you guys go to daneclark.com /tracker, in fact, somebody knows what I'm talking about, put that in the comments. If you go to daneclark.com /tracker, I actually have the tool that I used to use. And you guys can copy that, use a copy. Earl actually helped me set it up to where if you click that link, it goes to something that you can say use template, and you'll be able to download that and make it your own. I have to admit, I was shocked when I brought it up because I have goosebumps talking about now. Amazing this is. Cool. I'm very glad, Robert, that breakthroughs, brother. Breakthroughs, yes. Totally agree. Had this before. Have no issues with being paid. Yes. Yes. All right, cool. It's part of your onboarding process now. Yeah, use that, guys. Every tool I build for myself, I put in that /tracker. And yeah, all right, Shayna, give me some dialogue. Give me some dialogue on some conversation that you're having, and let's see what I can do to help. And I don't know why I'm holding my iPad, but I have a feeling that we're going to go to the iPad in a minute. I'll set it there. Go ahead, Shayna.
Okay, well, a most recent one, we had a friend who is in the real estate industry. So we sent him a video for the Pillars of Wealth, and the response back was, so we told him, hey, we're learning more about real estate investing. We want to get into this. We've got access to some great classes, want to set you up with some great resources. And the response was, well, this idea seems really solid. This one I'm not very sure about. This one, it was kind of a critique to what we were sharing without, and after that, we weren't even sure where to take it. Like if we should pursue this conversation or just drop it, but that's kind of the gist with a lot of conversations we have when it's somebody who's already in the real estate world, where they kind of like, the feedback is like trying to give us feedback rather than us sharing something with them. I hope that makes sense.
All right. Sorry, I think my Bluetooth, I might have lost you guys for a sec. Somebody, Shayna, say something. Let's see if I can still hear you.
Can you hear me?
Can you guys still hear me? Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. And so at the end of the day, in fact, let me ask you this. When you're talking to that person, I heard you say that you disclosed that you're learning. And so I'm wondering if, in fact, here, let me draw this really fast, because every human is going to fit into one of these boxes, whether it becomes, and I'm going to try and color code this the way I typically do, passive, active. I'm going to say red is property with an underlying problem or goal, either one that we can solve as real estate investors. And then last but not least is the not interested.
I can't see it on the screen.
Oh, am I not sharing?
No.
Can you guys see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Somebody.
I can.
Okay.
I can see your screen too.
So whoever that was, maybe click the Zoom button or something like that, because other people seem to be able to see it, and let me know if you figure that out. So all right, here we go. Okay, so Shayna, the person that you sent this to, I'm going to guess that they are active. Well, and let me break this down too, because there's two different categories in active. Okay, one category is they already know something. And if you try to teach them something, then there's gonna be some pride that comes out of them that's like, oh, you're trying to teach me something, right? Which I think I'm guessing that this is where we are here. The second one is that they know they need to know, right? They know they need to learn. And so I'm going to say active learning. Okay. So here's like the main categories broken down on the highest level I can, a 100-foot view, if you will. Okay. So Shayna, answer me this. This person, do you feel like I diagnosed correctly that they're like, hey, this is somebody that's actively involved in real estate investing, maybe a realtor, or not necessarily real estate investing, but actively involved in the real estate industry, like a realtor, for example. So am I on the right track so far?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So they know something, or even worse, I'm going to tell you right now that even worse than knowing something is thinking that you know something, and then you are closed off because you're not willing to learn anything, right? Very, very tough place to be for them, but also for you, because you're just like, oh my gosh, look at all this amazing information. Like, this could change your life. I mean, one little nugget could change your life. I don't know about you, but it did me. And even though I feel like I know something these days, whenever somebody ever tells me something that's cooler than what I currently know, I'm just like, that's brilliant. Oh my goodness, right? I've done over 130 real estate transactions to date since I joined Renatus 5 years ago. I had never done any deals before Renatus. Every deal I've done came after Renatus. Over 130 real estate investing transactions and made money. And I still have moments where I'm just like, oh my goodness, that idea is brilliant. I honestly think it's because I'm Renatus made, but let's talk about this, okay? So I'm hearing Shane say, she had a friend, they're on this side of the line, right? This side of the line is interested in real estate investing or the real estate investing industry, like a realtor or a title agent. Okay, other side of the line is like, hey, I need help, or consumers, right? So over here we have creators, over here we have consumers, okay? And so we're diagnosing that this person is here, okay? Now, this is gonna be a little bit of a different conversation. If you say things that make people feel like if you say things that are gonna hurt their pride, then sometimes you're gonna have responses like that where that's what's gonna happen, okay? So here's what I will do though, okay? When I diagnose somebody that sounds like they've got, or they think they know, I'll usually ask them and say, all right, most people that are already actively involved in the real estate investing or in the real estate industry, they either want to serve investors, all right, this is very important. They either want to serve investors, AKA a realtor, a title agent, a loan officer, an attorney, an inspector, a contractor, a subcontractor, okay? And so you guys can see where I'm going here. So either they want to serve real estate investors, or they are one, or they want to become one. And so what I would do in that situation, and Shayna, if you know what they would say to some of these questions, then by all means, let me know. But I would then ask them that question, like, okay, so you're a realtor. Are you an investor yourself, or do you just serve them? And if you only serve them, do you want to become one, right? Shayna, would you know the answer to that question with this person by chance? Or is this like giving you like new juice to have conversations with people?
Oh, I can, based on last night, this was one from last night. So she said, yeah, I am a real estate investor. We have one rental property plus our house that we own, and then she's telling us about the property. So there was a confidence that yes, she was a realtor and an investor.
Okay, cool. So she is categorizing herself as actively involved in real estate investing. She serves real estate investors, and she is one. Okay, and so that's the place. And I love that you said she's got one rental. And so now she's thinking like, I'm all high and mighty, but I'm going to guess that she's probably thinking that she knows more than you. And that's why she's got this, this pride. Go ahead, Shana.
I'm going to say, at this point in our education, because we're fairly new, it's probably true. There's probably a lot more that she does, though, than me at this point.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine, which is totally fine. And so I'm going to take you back to the 5 currencies, okay? Because every person that wants to get into real estate investing, you need to build all 5 of these currencies. And let me change colors, okay? And this is going to help. 5 currencies. You seen this before, Shana?
I'm not sure.
Oh, did I lose you? Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. This is going to be very good, okay? 5 currencies in order of most valuable to least. Number 1 is time. Number 2 is knowledge. Number 3 is relationships. Because newsflash, it's not what you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not who you know, it's what you know. It's both, okay? But I do say knowledge is more important because it's what you know and what you say to who you know at the end of the day, okay? And so knowledge, relationships, I put that 3rd. 4th, I put credibility. Credibility. 5th is money. Notice that it is last. Okay, so Shana, when you're new, there's gonna be a progression in all of these currencies, okay? When you're new, you're probably going to have to use other people's time, knowledge, relationships, credibility, and money, potentially, unless you have your own of any of these things. And so what I'm hearing you say, Shana, is you're like, hey, I'm just getting started in my credibility. And so I am going to have to use other people's credibility until I have deposited plenty of experience. Usually credibility comes from experience and knowledge. And so until you've deposited and you've grown in that, use other people's. And so I would say for you to go from credibility 0.0, which I'm guessing is probably how this gal made you feel. I would argue that it's more, but am I mistaken that this is how it made you feel?
No, that's accurate.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you right now that you are more than 0.0 just because you've got knowledge, right? Again, credibility comes from both knowledge and experience. And so you are already building credibility. However, you're hanging around with people that, I guarantee whoever did that intro presentation has probably done plenty of real estate. I would guess probably more than our friend that we're talking about. And currently, there's people on this line that if I were to just throw a shot in the dark, that the people that are on this call today, hundreds of real estate deals on just the call that we are on today, that is credibility. And you can use that. You can be like, oh yeah, I was on a call with let's see, how many people we got right now? 76. Yeah, I was on a call with 76 people. And between those 76 people, hundreds of real estate deals have been done. That's credibility, okay? And so now that's like a blanket credibility, but you can also tell other people's stories, get specifics, get absolute specifics, so that when somebody, whoops, I'm like trying to touch my computer. Here, let me scroll over on the iPad. When somebody's in this category, they are, again, we have to figure out what their underlying problem or what their underlying goal is. Okay. And so if somebody says, I serve real estate investors and I am one, then I like to ask them, like, cool. So what's next for you? Because if for example, if somebody, and I'm gonna put this down because I want to use my hands. If somebody comes to me and says that and has a little bit of that pride, I like to use that to my advantage, and I hope this is helpful, because I know we're getting into some deep stuff, but I like to use that to my advantage by giving them the all like, oh my goodness, like am I even worthy? I don't do that legitimately. I don't do that exactly, but in a way. And so if I have somebody that's like, oh yeah, I serve a lot of real estate investors, I'm an agent, you know, I've got one rental, I say, oh my gosh, like that is amazing. And I literally word for word, in fact, I literally said this within 7 days ago. I'll say things like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm sitting here trying to think, how in the world could myself or anybody ever help you? Like, what's next for you? And then it will get them off their high horse and realize that everybody's got goals, everybody's got the next progression, everybody, right? And so let's say you have somebody's like, oh yeah, I serve investors, I've got one rental, and you're just like, oh my, give them some credibility, right? They told you that because they're like begging for your credibility, typically, just understanding humans. And so then I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, so what's next, right? Do you want to go get 10? Do you want to go, are you like, yeah, one rental is good for me. Where are you at? And then you begin understanding what their problem, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what, notice that I've never even said that, oh, I've done 100 real estate deals. I don't flash that around very often unless the timing is right, unless I need to pull that kind of credibility, then sure. But most of the time I don't, because I try to make it about them. Okay. So Shayna, tell me this is helping, or am I confusing you?
No, this is really helpful.
Okay, good. Okay. So we've identified they serve real estate investors as a realtor. She owns one rental. And so we need to know, so what's next? Where do you want to go? How many real estate investors do you want to serve? Renatus could help you with that goal. If she says, oh, I want to help 100 real estate investors buy an investment property. Like, cool, Renatus could help you with that. I mean, number one, yeah, you could learn some stuff, but number two, how many real estate investing students are there in Renatus? Okay, and so here's what's going to be this person's desire to get into Renatus, right? If they want to scale this, then Renatus can help them. And so you need to have some stories of people that have done more than one deal, right? They're easy to find. I mean, we got people on this call that dozens of them, I'm sure, that could tell you, and you could get specific stories that you can say, oh my gosh, I gotta tell you about this friend that I have met that had one rental and was like, how in the world do I get a lot more without having to save up and then buy one, and then save up and then buy one? But how in the world can I get many, many more using other people's money, finding really good deals, and then you tell their story, okay? Or over here, you tell their story. You tell somebody's story that was a realtor. So I mean, let me give you one realtor. In fact, Lily might even be on this call. Lily, if you're on this call, come off of mute. And then we got to wrap up because it's after 9. But Lily Puertas, realtor. And when she joined Renatus, she actually already had been investing in real estate. Pretty cool. And so you tell Lily's story of like, yeah, she'd already had some real estate, but because she joined the community, not only did she act as a realtor a lot more, because she's now invested in this community and is one of the top education holders in our Renatus community, but she's also done a lot more deals herself, and Lily has actually become the bank. And so I'm guessing she's not on the call today, but again, use this story. Everybody use this story that I'm telling you guys. Because of Lily joining Renatus, she did a lot more deals as an agent, but she's also done a lot more deals as an investor, right? And so to her, it wasn't learning like the basics, it was learning like, how do I scale? How do I do more real estate deals? And I actually had a conversation with Lily, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, where she's had this mind-blowing breakthrough where she's like, oh my gosh, I just figured out how to go pick up 100 long-term real estate deals where I can be the bank. Because she's already done that 4 or 5, 7 times with her own resources. And she had this mind-blowing breakthrough where she's like, oh my gosh, I know how to do 100 deals using other people's money. And it was really, really cool to sit down and watch her talk through that breakthrough. But guys, use that story. Use Lily's story. Use my story. Use Earl's story. Maximiliano, anybody that's on here, right? And so Shayna, here's my, and this is everybody on the call, but I'm going to single you out. Never stop watching those classes, right? Have a goal to finish so many classes in a week, so many classes in a month. Never stop watching those classes so that you are depositing into your 5 currencies consistently in knowledge. Keep on showing up to calls like this, to networking events, jump in on Facebook group, go to lunch with people like 2 times a week. If I was you and I was new, I would go to lunch with people 2 times a week and do what you're doing, be vulnerable to say, I'm learning, sure. But watch what happens when you are real with people and and you're okay with where you are. You're okay with starting out here in your 5 currencies, accounts, if you will, and you're building all of them. Okay. And you're building money, you're building knowledge, you're building relationships. Okay. And you're using your time. Because you have so much time to allot towards your real estate investing goal, right? Credibility, start with other people's stories and grab those, right? Try to have a story for this conversation, have a story for this conversation, have a story for this conversation, have a story for this, these conversations, and have a story for this conversation. And then no matter what happens, and sorry, we got to wrap up. No matter what happens, when you meet that person and you engage in a conversation, depending on how they answer and what they say, and you start going down this funnel, because you are a funnel, you'll be able to pull stories where like, oh my gosh, and you tell a story. Until you have your own, use other people's. We all are, and this is why we are part of Renatus. We borrowed other people's stories until we had our own, and now we give our stories to our fellow students. Okay, so Shayna, let me know that helped, and I'm sure that helped a lot of other people too. So they are grateful. And let me know if there's any follow-up to this. Next week, if we need to go deeper, by all means, we can go as deep as we want. All right, but here's the blanket, 100-foot view. Have these, I don't want to say let's call it planned conversations, right? Depending on how they answer, you have a planned conversation for each one of these buckets that people will fit in, okay? All right, guys, real estate dream call at 9 o'clock, 5 minutes ago. So we're going to go ahead and stop this, and thanks again. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Dane.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dane.
Thanks, Dane.
Thank you, Dane.